evening.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. So, good evening. Thank you
Good
very
evening.
much for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm fine. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. Yeah, so far I think my day was really great. So,
And I must say one thing that you have improved exponentially at an amazing rate. And it just a kind of breakthrough, And I really like the way you converse with people, giving pauses and pondering and thinking about the sentences, and just just mull over in a sentence. That's really amazing. I like the way you teach, and I like the way you talk with people, taking extra time to think upon the presentation which you really want to present. It's really appreciable.
thank
So
you very much.
like, so many students, so many learners are there who are really putting their best effort to learn this language. They are delving deep into this language, to get to know about all the technical things about this language. But unfortunately, they are not command over the language. Though they are putting their best efforts, they are following all the strategies, thing. Like, why they are not able to be fluent. Later on, coming to this term also, that what is the meaning of fluency. So what is your opinion? Always they stems out with some kind of problem. So what is your opinion regarding this thing?
Like, I think that, most of the people, they are thinking a lot about grammar and vocabulary when they are speaking English, rather than focusing on conversation. Okay. So I
That
think one should not focus on grammar and vocabulary or something else when they are conversing with someone. Like if you see in my case, I'm just speaking my mind. I'm not thinking too much about grammar or vocabulary, and I'm not worried about my mistakes at all. I know I'm committing mistakes, but I'm not worried about it. So I have also experience of talking with so many learners, and I have found one thing very common in them. They are thinking too much about their mistakes. If they will make a little grammar mistake, or maybe this, that, and that is holding them back. That is lowering their confidence down, and this is holding them back, I think, most of the time. The second thing may be that they are thinking that English is superior. Okay, let somebody like me or them cannot speak. No, this is just a language. You have to be like you have to behave with English just like language. You don't have to think that you are speaking something of superior than Hindi or your mother tongue or something like this. Just think this is a language, and you have to learn it. You have to be good at speaking. Just focus on the part of speaking. Don't care about grammar and mistakes. Whoever is coming in front of you, whatever thought is coming in your mind, that speak in front of them. So this is one thing I think people are not doing.
Yeah, exactly. And one more thing, I suppose, Anand, that our traditional school, I mean, the teachers, your language learning and you, there they have put something extra between these things. That is, you can call it the way they teach in the school. It's called like boiling the ocean. Like, they have put some extra thing into it. Just imagine a scenario, a kind of situation where you are trying to learn a language, but you need to think upon the vocabulary, you need to think upon the sentence construction, you need to think upon the grammatical approach or grammatical rules. So this is a kind of conception which I think it comes from the traditional way of teaching in the schools, isn't it? What do you think?
Yes, yes, I think Indian teachers will have to little bit change this approach. Like I remember my days when, because I started learning English after my high schooling, to be honest. So when I was in 11th and 12th, the problem with my tutor was good where I was learning English like grammar. He was good. He was trying his best to make me speak English and everybody. But the circumstance and situation was not like that. Nobody was trying to speak English. So in this case, yeah, this is good. Few tutors are available everywhere who is trying to make somebody speak English. Otherwise, like other tutors are just teaching grammar, vocabulary, and they think, this is just English. But now we are living in 21st century. If we cannot speak English, it means we are illiterate in English. Because speaking is only things that is gonna work for us in this century. Yeah, in previous generation, just if my grandfather knew a little bit English, that was good for them. Yeah, they were like my grandfather was good at it. Like if he was knowing a little bit English, like even he can read and write, just it was sufficient for him. But nowadays it is not. Like nowadays we have to speak because we are living in 21st century. The whole world is becoming like a small village. Okay, I don't think after 20, after 10 or 20 years the whole world will be just like a small village, and we are seeing
Exactly.
right now because of technology. So we need English now. So I think that yes, the tutors should change their approach of teaching. Like they should not focus on grammar and vocabulary only. Like, yeah, it is necessary. They must know how much it is important. Okay, how much grammar
Yeah.
should one give and to speak English.
Exactly. Because if you're teaching in this point, like, giving so much emphasis on written structuring, it actually it becomes a kind of subject. It doesn't remain language any longer. Because what students are there doing, they are appearing in the schools, they were giving tests, they are writing, they are mugging up the rules of the grammar, and then they are going to appear for the examination. So it is a kind of subject for them. You cannot call it that they have taken it as a language. So that is the problem with Hindi medium students, because they always have taken it as a subject, and that is why it always remains a subject. It doesn't become a kind of language, you can say.
No, I was just saying, yes, I myself is a Hindi medium student, so I know that what kind of thing we think about English. Like right now, you can see I am so much rooted with my that mindset that still I have to, get rid of it, and it is taking me a time to get rid of my
It doesn't go so easily. It remains in our heart,
heart.
because
Yeah.
for a long time we have been doing this thing, so immediately we cannot give it up. So my next question is, Anand, that what is a fluency? According about fluency, it's a kind of conception which is different people have different opinion or notion about it. Some people think that fluency means when you are speaking very fast, you can be called fluent. Some people think that if you have just command over the language, you know about the language, you can be called fluent. Some people think that, yeah, okay, only the sufficient knowledge of the language, if you have the understanding of the language, you can be called fluent. But the thing is that, it is something, different, something specific, you can call it,
Mhm.
because it has two aspects. As far as I concern about it, it has two aspects. First is that, the arduous or the complicated articulation of words. If it is coming out smoothly from your mouth, you can be called fluent. And second thing is that if like you are able to put forth your ideas in front of the people sitting in front of you, the people who are sitting in front of you, or whomever you are talking to, if you are able to express yourself in a nice way without being stuck, that is called fluency. So what is your opinion regarding this thing? So what do you think, what is a fluency?
I'm agree with your last point because I love this point. Language is language. We do not need to speak it too fast, too slow, or something like this. I think my message should be conveyed to my audience clearly. That is fluency, okay? And in the way that I want them to convey it. Like, like I want it should be impactful. Like if I'm speaking with someone, my intonation, everything should be clear. Whatever effect I am trying to make on my audience, it should be met. That means you are fluent. Yeah, I'm very astonished with this idea sometimes that people think that only you are fluent when you can speak very fast English or you can speak like native speakers. No, I don't think so. Native speakers have been speaking English since their birth, so we can speak like them. It is like people are speaking, no problem. And maybe you can be different from them, like Sasi Tharoor is different. Okay, I know the lots of speaker, good speaker, who are not concerned about any native speakers. They are just speaking their own English, and they are speaking much more better English than them. So
Exactly.
I'm Yes, so I'm agree with you that idea should be conveyed clearly. Your message should be given to your audience the way that you want to. Okay, that is only a fluency.
And one more thing is there, Anand, that is a different thing because English is spoken all over the world by different people in different context, isn't it? So just suppose I'm giving an idea you. The idea is that even if you are a native speaker, it's not going to help you if you come across with a mathematical term, and only if you know about the mathematical term, that is topology. Okay, suppose a person has taken this, mathematician has taken the subject that is topology. So, being a native speaker, you cannot understand this term until and unless you have gone deep into this thing, this mathematics thing. So, I just want to tell you one thing that, language or fluency, it is relative phenomena and like contextual. I mean to say that I'm just giving you an example. What I really want to say that suppose one community of people, they speak different term for something, and one community of people, they speak different term. So you cannot call yourself fluent until and unless you know about their different term about this thing. Like fluency, it's a kind of picture. It's a kind of picture, painted, and in that picture some particular words are there. It is a contextual basis thing which I'm telling you. Language is
Mhm,
contextual, so it's like a picture, and in that picture there are different things. So same way, you have to find out, you know it's language is like a painting, and you have to find out that where some words have been spoken and what is the meaning of that particular word, because since you are aware of the context, so you get connected directly with that word. Understand? Suppose that if we don't know any language, but if we know about some term like marketplace, okay, if we talk about marketplace, so we know that in marketplace, selling, buying, these two terms are very common. So
mhm.
you can understand it by going to the context of the language. Are you getting my point?
Yes, I'm
It
getting you.
means
I'm
that
getting.
language is very much cultural and
And
contextual.
contextual, right?
Isn't it? So you cannot call it that language is this grammatical thing. It's not grammatical or linguistic thing. It's contextual thing. So on that basis, it is very it's clear that no one can be called fluent. You cannot call that I
So,
am fluent and all the time I can express myself without being stuck,
mhm.
because this contextual things will always stop you from doing that. If you
So,
are contextually correct, you can connect with those words. This is
mm,
my opinion.
you are
And
right, absolutely right.
one more thing, Anand, I just pondered over this thing, and I just came across few things. few things I have just thought upon it, pondered upon it, and I just want to convey to you that this fluency things, it comes gradually. You cannot call it that it is just a kind of what should I call, it's not a kind of game that you have crossed the line and you have grabbed the fluency, isn't it? It's not kind
Yeah,
of a great game, you can call it. It it's not that you have fluency, you don't have fluency. No, it is not like that. This fluency things comes very gradually. If you're mingling with people, if you're talking with people, if you are pouring your heart out, if you're listening a lot, gradually these things develops a lot. And it's like, Anand, it's like a kind of plant which you are nurturing, giving water, sunlight, everything, like living being, isn't it? So it does just develop very gradually and very slowly, and it takes it form. So no one
sure.
can say that I am fluent. It's
Fluent.
it's very gradual process, isn't
Yeah, it
it?
is continuous game. Yeah, you have to keep playing every day. You have to keep practicing every day, and you will be getting better day by day, day by day. So
Exactly,
I got you.
exactly. Now, my next question is, since I just came back from the college, I'm just, my mind is not working properly. That how should I go on track, what to ask you. Okay, the question which is coming in my mind, I've been mingling them up, I'm just mingling them up.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So, my next question is, Anand, that is, tell me one thing. Why do you think that, students, they get stuck while speaking English? Why they get stuck? Like, they have made lots of preparation, they are appearing for some kind of speech, they are ready to deliver their speech, and they are making so many, wonderful preparation for this thing to happen. And just I'm just giving you an the situation, and just before the delivering the speech, they have reached to the dais, they have taken the mic in their hand, and suddenly they get stuck. This is a situation which is very very common in
Yeah, they
in
start shivering.
we're talking about the models, yeah. So why they get stuck? Do you think that why this kind of situation arises in a person's life, a learner's life? And it's very common. You must have faced this situation. Even
I
even
have
I
this.
have faced this situation. And I'll tell you how this thing happened, First, let me tell you, ask you the question. The question is that you are prepared. Fully you are, prepared, with equipped with all the things, you are ready with all the things, that I'm just gonna start my speech like this. First of all, I'm gonna speak like this, and then I'm going to tell this thing and that. So you're all ready to deliver your speech. But suddenly a moment comes when you get stuck. You feel butterfly in your stomach. The words are not coming out from your mouth. You get stuck, you get frozen at that time. Why this thing happen? Why? What is your opinion regarding?
I I think the lot of preparation make you nervous sometime. Like you had prepared, you had all the draft that after this point I'm going to speak this point, after this point I'm going to narrate. But when you came to a stage and now it is your turn to speak, then maybe you spoke few lines, okay? And after those few lines, now you are thinking that your draft or the way you wanted to narrate the story has somehow you messed up, and this make you like your whole brain will be complicated now, like your whole idea will collapse, and this makes you nervous. So I have faced this situation, like when you do a lot of preparation, that preparation sometimes psychology make you ill, because when you are speaking, it means even if you are thinking for single minute about anything else, your whole idea will collapse, and once it will collapse, you will be stuck. So I think this thing happens with most of the people most of the time, that the preparation that they had made, now they cannot repeat it, because something you have thought that you have to speak, maybe you will miss when you are speaking, and once you missed it, now you will start thinking what I have missed, and in this way the signals that was coming in your mind will stop, and you are gonna dump there.
So do you want to say that it is whole a psychological matter?
I think it is psychological matter. Like you have to be strong enough to not think about anything at that moment. Just you have to narrate your idea. You have to speak your mind at the moment.
And one more thing is there, Anand, if you're making so much preparation, before appearing for the speech and whatever you are going to do, if what actually generally what we do that we make, we are in the habit of mugging up things. We never understand things. We always mug up things. So if you have prepared your speech by mugging up that thing, so when you are just distracting from your, lines, the words will not come to your mouth. But if you understand the thing, if you have other options there, like if you want to replace your word with another word, immediately you can find and grab on that word. But if you are sticking to only one word, one kind of sentences, so it's not going to happen you. If you are forgetting that lines, it means that you are very much numbers. You always fumble for the words. But if you have made some preparation already, that yeah, if I forget this word, I have another set of words ready for me to speak out, isn't it?
Mhm.
So
Right.
this whole conception is going to change. It means that you need to have so much preparation in your language that even if you forget some particular word, you immediately grab onto other word to express yourself in a very nice and smooth way. This is the
Mhm.
first thing. Second thing, Anand, it can be that you are forgetting because psychologically, as you told me just now, that psychologically you are very much stressed out. You are really, really, in a very critical situation because you are always thinking about the repercussions which is going to take place if you forget some words. So
Mhm.
instead of focusing on the repercussions, instead of focusing on the result or the consequences, if we think about the content which we prepare, we are never ever going to forget the lines. So but we are really really very much helpless. We
Mhm.
find ourselves helpless because this situation is really really very difficult. Even Anand, let me tell you one thing, I have also faced this situation because stage fright is a very big thing. Once I am just telling you that once I had to give a kind of speech, and
Mhm.
I'm really very, I have a stage fright, I'm very afraid to speak in front of people. But what happened that when my chance came, what I was doing that I just kept on thinking that what is going to happen if people are going to mock me, they're going to laugh at me, and I'm going to forget the line. So what happened when my turn came, I just went to the podium and very I just hold that podium very tightly. And I didn't make any eye contact. Rather, I looked at the space and
Mhm.
I just spoke whatever was there in my mind without, without any kind of body language. It was just a mechanical thing, you can call it. Somehow I finished it. I was very shaky, and somehow I finished it. And I said, yeah, yeah, I have done it. I have done it. And I'm now, oh God, I'm saved. But then later on, I realized this thing that, the fear which was there, it was my own creation. I shouldn't do it. Next time when I appeared for this kind of, because Anand, once in a year we need to speak something, once or twice in a year. Being a teacher, it's our, a kind of job, you can say, to give some kind of speech or something like that. So next time, when I did, I just, started, I just took it as a mantra. I started chanting it. I can do it. I will do it. I can do it. I will do it.
Yeah.
And next time when I just gave my speech, one thing was there in my mind, that I am not going to lose on any words. I am not going to stammer. I'm just going to, make it happen, and it would happen. And once I'm determined that, yeah, I'm going to give very good speech, and it happened, really, I'm telling you. So it's a kind of psychological thing also, which
Yes.
works really, really deep when you are learning some language.
So
So,
like
and
I
then my
have been
last
also
question.
I have been also once in this situation, like, oh, like my English was, I was not speaking English on those days, but I was invited by an institute, okay, because I used to be president of my science club in 2016, somehow 16 or 15, okay. So I was president, so my science club had been invited by the institute, so we went there. When I went there, I saw everybody is, giving a speech in English. So now I was not knowing good English at all. I was not knowing English on those days. And when my science club had been invited, then I had to give a speech. So I went on a stage and I started speaking in English. And I still remember that moment, that what I spoke, I still don't remember a single word. So that kind of nervousness I have faced in my life. But that day I thought, no, I will speak English today onwards. And I started, taking English tuition, and I started doing work on my English.
Consistently, you need to work on it. Then only you can speak good English. So, Anand, my last question. Uh, this question is like, people say that when you are learning some language, it is 80% of your mindset and 20% of your other, English habit, or whatever you can call it. So this mindset, actually, we prepare it just comes from some kind of assumptions, some kind of, what you call perception. So this kind of mindset, actually, we develop in our mind, and it becomes a kind of belief, you can call it. And this belief, actually, it comes from our parents sometimes, sometimes from YouTube, sometimes from social media or society, whatever you can call it. So without thinking upon this kind of belief, we accept it. We don't validate that whether the belief which we are fostering inside it right or wrong. We don't bother to think about it. We just accept it as it comes to us. We accept it. Yeah, it's going to happen. Like in
Right.
English language, we have already made it in my mind that we cannot speak this language because, this language is not my cup of tea. So this kind of psychological mindset, if you have already developed in your mind, you are not going to learn this language. So
Yeah.
suppose you have joined some institution, some classes, and before entering into the class, if you have already filled your mind with lots of prejudice that, oh God, it's not, I'm not going to cope up with the situation, I'm not going to speak in English. So this mindset of yours will not let you learn this language. So do you do you think that is it the right thing, that people already develop a kind of mindset for learning the language? What is your opinion, Anand?
I think, yeah, you are absolutely right. Like, whatever you want to become, first you become in your mind. Okay. So I think when you know everything about yourself now, like, first of all, you'll have to make yourself believe that you can do it. You are going to speak English, because I told you before, this is a psychological thing. Yeah, you told right now that 80% it depends on your attitude, like, on your mindset, and 20% just it is work that you have to put in progress. So I'm completely agree with you that, yeah, whatever you want to become, first you become in mind. And if you are negative, if you are not feeling good, if you have any sort of prejudice of maybe of society, maybe your financial is, things are not good, maybe several sort of problem people are facing everywhere in the society. So if you have any sort of prejudice like this, then definitely it will pull you back. So you have to be very strong. You have to psychologically strong that you are gonna do it and you will do it.
Exactly. So, Anand, I think next time we are going to meet again, and we have lots of things to discuss. And I really want to discuss next time the strategies which are adopted by English learner. Okay, so next time we are going to discuss on this very particular topics, that what are the strategies. I'm not telling you to join some institution or some apps. There are so many students who are not able to, financially they are not able to pay off for this institution. So they want to learn English themselves. So it is our duty to help them out. So that is why in next video, if you agree, we can discuss on various strategies, various skills or methods are adopted by the students who are learning English, and they can learn English at home.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course I would like.
so nice
Yeah,
meeting. Okay, so nice meeting you, Anand. It was really my pleasure to invite you in my channel. Thank you so much. So we are connecting again next time. Okay,
thank, thank you
until
very
then,
much.
goodbye.
Yeah, it was really nice talking with you. And yeah, of course we will meet again.
Okay, thank you so much.